YouTube, how's it freaking going? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well and hope your week was well. It is Friday, and you know what that fucking means. And I have to say this. I'm gonna have to freaking say this, guys. Stop fucking posting this almost Friday type shit, man. No one gives a fuck that it's almost Friday. And I also don't like hearing the saying, fuck all Friday. Guys, Friday is another day of the week to enjoy, of course, with your loved ones and doing the very things that make you happy. But it is also a day that you can utilize to become better, right? And that might be hard for some people to understand because a lot of people live around the weekend, right? They only live for the weekend. And we aren't about that. If you guys are watching these videos, man, I hope to inspire you guys to actually utilize every single day to become better, right? And that might be the very sacrifice you need, right? I might separate greatness from being a loser. Let's be honest, man. And of course, I'm not calling people losers who go out and have fun on the weekend or just live for the weekend because everyone is in a certain place. You know what? Fuck it. I am calling you a loser. If you guys only live for the weekend, you are a loser. Let's be honest. I'm not going to bite around the bush to make you guys happy. There's 7 days in a week. If you're only able to enjoy 3 days a week, and I say 3 because a lot of people have these almost Friday posts, and they're referring to Friday evening. And that's how that is. Because at the end of the day, guys, you only live once. You don't get one, like, you don't get to do this, have fun, do all this stupid shit, and then fucking you die, and then you get another chance at it. You don't. You get one chance at life. One frickin' chance. You gotta ask yourself every time you're doing something, if I died tomorrow, would I be happy with doing this? And I know this might be a little, I don't know, deep or whatnot, but it's true. And that's how you have to live your life. I just really get fed up with these almost Friday posts, guys. Like, it's just fucking so absurd to me, right? Because you're only living for Friday night? Like, come on, man. There's so much more to life other than just living for the fucking weekend, guys. If you're not waking up on a Monday feeling the same sort of excitement that you feel on a Saturday, you got a problem. You gotta look at to what you're doing. And you gotta do something right. Because at the end of the day, guys, life is short. Life is freaking short. It goes by like that. Like I said, I can't fucking believe we're already we're into our 4th month of 2024. I don't know where the time went, but I know that I've been putting my foot forward towards the life that I want to live. And that's just the way it is. And I don't say, I should say, it is important to focus on where you want to be, but also live in the moment, right? Because sometimes we do get caught up with the thoughts of, oh, I want to be here, oh, I want to be there. But the reality of it is, if you're not content and happy with what you have right now, you're never going to be content and happy because there's always going to be something better, right? Oh, I'm driving my Mazda 2. I can't wait to get a fucking Lambo, right? Then I get a Lambo, and then what? Oh, I can't wait to get that Aventador. There's always something better. There's always something else that you guys are looking towards getting. And you can't be like that. You gotta have gratitude for what you have right now, of course. And balance is key, guys. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta be doing the very things you need to do. You can't just live for the fucking weekend. And without further ado, guys, fucking gym time. Okay, first exercise of the day, which is one I feel like I haven't done in a bit, which is a bench press. Me personally, I like to bench press with a partner. I do say, guys, it's more optimal to use dumbbells just because of the amount of depth that you're able to get when you're doing dumbbells versus a bench press. So, I mean, hey, if you're not hitting bench press, you're not missing out per se. It's definitely an ego exercise because a lot of people ask, you go to the gym? Oh yeah, what's your bench press? That's probably typically the first thing people ask. But in that context, I also seen this post on Instagram, which is which exercise would you take away if you had to, right? And for me personally, or rather the most useless exercise, definitely be a decline bench press. I just am not a big fan of it. You don't really get a lot of range of motion, and you can put a lot more weight on that than any other exercise or any other bench press just because of the depth that you're getting and the range of motion, because you're not getting as much on a decline. And if you're trying to hit the lower portion of your chest, I always say do dips. Dips are much better. Even decline dumbbells are much better than that. So that's definitely my go-to. But drop a comment down below which exercise you guys would take out if you had to, or in general, like which exercise do you guys just find the most useless, but also which exercise you dislike the most because it makes you the most fatigued. Now in that context, I would have to say hack squats. I don't like hack squats. They fuck me up. Anytime I do a hack squat, like, it's a mental battle of whether or not I should actually do it. I know it's beneficial to me, but it's always difficult. Always a challenge whenever I do hack squats, which just means I'm gonna have to do it more because obviously the things you don't like, majority of the time are the best things for you. But we're gonna go into this. We did our warm-up set. For you guys that don't know, it's 12-8-4. So we do 12 reps, 8 reps, 4 reps. Of course, you're choosing a weight that you could do more than 12 reps for. We're not going close till failure, just to activate our muscles, make sure everything's working all right. And also it's good because when you're using a lower weight, especially on the bench press, you can really get that range of motion and where I want to push it, right? Because some days might be a little different than other, and everyone's range of motion is different. Really optimize the amount of effort on your chest, pec muscles. So you got to think about that. And that, again, in turn, that's, fuck man, the alarm's going off. But that in turn is just because, you know, you got to have that mind-muscle connection, right? You got to really mentally think about the muscle being worked and make sure that you are hitting it to the best of its ability. So remember that. But anyways, we're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna see how many I could do with 2 plates. First set in, so we're gonna see how we do. Wrist wraps, always recommend the wrist wraps, especially when you're doing bench press, just because of the wrist pressure, but let's get this shit. One more. You have to watch though.
Yeah.
I got it. Did you help a bit?
Tad bit.
Just a tad bit. All right, I'll count that as 7.5, but I'm gonna continue with the 2 plate mark. Remember guys, if I'm doing less than 5, I don't really think it's useful. I think I should just lower the weight at that point in time. But that's because I'm training for hypertrophy, but we do this for 5 sets. I haven't hit bench press in a bit. I wanna make sure that I'm really working it today, working on it as best as possible. Because I do like doing bench press, but without, let's get the shit done. I could sit here and lie to you like a lot of other fitness influencers do. I tell you that I did 5 sets on the bench press there. I'm not gonna do that, man. We did 4. We did 4 sets. I felt after the 4th set that I was, the stimulus to fatigue ratio was more in favor of the fatigue element. For you guys that aren't aware of what that is, it's kind of essentially about how tired an exercise gets you versus the actual effectiveness of the exercise, right? And we're pushing till failure, close to, well, yeah, till failure on the bench press, right? To where we can't lift it. So of course, each set is definitely gonna take a lot out of us. And there's other movements that I wanna hit, right? And just because of that I have that knowledge that there's other movements that I wanna hit, doesn't mean that I'm gonna half-ass the sets over there. Just gonna make it less volume, right? And still do those sets, but make sure that they count. So that's why we did 4. But now we're gonna do dumbbell incline press, which is what I wanted to work into. A lot of strain on this portion of the shoulder, of course, because of the movements. But something I see a lot of people do on any sort of dumbbell press that they shouldn't be doing is stopping halfway, all right? It's very important because I always preach that you're able to hit more depth on this than you are on a bench press or an incline press, bench press. And it's true. However, people stop the same spot that they would when they are doing a barbell exercise. But when you have the dumbbells, you got to make sure that you're getting that depth, right? And I know it's harder, it makes it harder, but it's the most you get the most out of it when you do that. So just pay attention to what I'm doing, right? I'm going to be hitting that more depth, and I'm not going to be doing as much volume as I typically do because of that element, right? I really do want to make sure that emphasizing that, because again, there's no point in doing this and half-assing it. You got to make every rep count, you got to make every set count. But we're going to be doing this, remember, 8 to 12 reps. Want to get close to that level of failure. First set I did, I failed at 10. I brought it down and I was like, yeah, I'm not bringing it up anymore. And that, you know, like maybe I could have pressed it if I did partials, but again, I want to make sure I'm emphasizing the depth. And if I hit the depth and I'm incapable of pushing it up again, I don't see a point in doing it. So you guys pay attention to what I do. I do this for 4 sets. I think 4 is a good number. Again, we're going close to failure or to failure. So we gotta make sure we're making every set count. Let's get this shit. Really stretch out your muscle. Failed on 7 there. I do want to hit at least 8, so I'm going to take a little breath and get back into it. Nope. Remember, failure is growth. If you're not pushing to a level where you're failing, you're not doing right by yourself, or close to failure at least. And again, you guys will notice I failed because of the depth, right? I wasn't able to get it past that depth, which is typically the hardest point of the exercise. But it's very important that you are hitting the depth, because again, depth equals better gains. You want to stretch those muscles, right? Stretch them. There's more time under tension, and you have a greater range of motion, which is going to equate to bigger gains. But 2 more sets of this, might lower the weight. I'm going to lower the weight because 8 reps, 7 reps rather, but let's get this shit done. Okay, we're going to work into our next exercise. It's actually going to be the first superset of the day. And I won't lie, guys, every set that I did that I failed on was at the down. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's important that you're hitting that depth element, because it is harder, right? Especially when you're down that far, it's harder to get the reps up. And maybe perhaps throwing in a couple partials is good, but for that particular exercise, I wanted to exert myself, especially with the stretch, to get the most out of it. But we're gonna work into our next superset, like I said, well, rather first superset, which is gonna be a dumbbell raise. So we're gonna be doing this with the dumbbells. Typically, I don't think you guys actually ever see me do this, but typically I do this with a cable. I felt like I wanted a little bit of variety element and use some free weights, right? So the main thing that's very important about this is that you're keeping your elbow at a slight bend, and you're not doing this, because once you start doing that, you're using your biceps, right? And the whole purpose of this is to hit my chest, which is why it's also crucial that you guys are paying attention to your body, again, with the mind-muscle connection, to make sure that you are in fact hitting your chest. We're gonna be supersetting this with some dumbbell flies as well. Again, another exercise I'm not sure you guys have seen me do, because typically I do on the pec deck fly machine. It's a little easier, right? I mean, dumbbells are good because you have to use your stabilizer muscles and whatnot, but I do in fact enjoy the pec deck fly machine. But I do want to take a little break from it today and do dumbbells instead, so you guys should see a little bit of variety, right? And especially because not everyone has access to the pec deck fly machine, but some people have access to the dumbbells, right? Dumbbells are a lot easier to get than, of course, the pec deck fly machine. But let's get right into this. Right into the pec deck fly, pec fly dumbbells, but I wanted to show, you know, the vasculinity is looking pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but I am impressed with how it's going. Once the cut happens, it'll definitely be more vascular. I was looking at older pictures, and you know, obviously the less body fat you have covering your veins, the more defined it is as well, right? But definitely not gonna cut the way I used to. Let's get shit done though. How'd that feel?
Felt good.
It's your first time doing it. What's like something you could say to people who are like their first time doing it that you realize?
First time doing this exercise?
Yeah, it's your first time doing it. So like when people do this exercise, it's like something that you can say to doing that set that they would need to follow or
That they would need to follow up on?
or like a little pointer or whatnot. What did you realize when you did that set?
What did I realize doing that set? You don't have to start out perfect, it's just all about consistency.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's all about consistency. Just don't ego lift it, don't go too heavy. Just like what you always tell me is get the form down right. So like have the weight low. However you feel comfortable, just work on the form, and then once you get the form down pat, then you can start like going heavy and stuff.
What's something like you realized about the form that made you feel it more?
Straight.
Straighter arms.
Straighter arms.
Okay.
Keep your arms straight out all the time. Don't bend them. Like keep them straight.
Well, slight bend.
Slight bend, obviously, but like yeah, like don't bend it a whole lot. Just
less range of motion.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, and go slow. Don't rush it. Like what's it called? Hypertrophy? When you like
Hypertrophy.
hypertrophy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just hypertrophy. Just slow and nice. Like don't rush the set. Yeah.
Control your tempo. Oh yeah, let's get it. All right, we're gonna work into our finisher. I always tell you guys to encompass some form of a body weight movement in your exercises, whether it's at the end or the beginning. It is crucial to be able to control your own body. And to be honest, man, you got your body for a reason. If you can't control your body, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. There's some big ass motherfucker who can go bench press 5 plates but can't even do 10 push-ups. To me, that's useless strength, right? You're more likely to be in a situation where you're gonna push yourself up quicker than you are gonna have to bench something off your chest that's 5 plates. But for the finisher, we're gonna do this for 10 sets. 8 of which are gonna be consecutive because we did a warm-up set, showed Sheer what to do, also a feeler set. I always recommend doing feeler sets so you guys know how you're feeling, right? Going into it, I felt a little bit of strain on my shoulder, which means I gotta make sure that I'm paying attention to that. Of course, hitting that depth, I'm going to feel a strain on my shoulder, and hitting shoulders yesterday, they are fatigued, right? So I got to remember that. But 12 of both. So we're going to be doing dips. And as I said earlier, dips are good for the lower portion of your chest. A lot more effective than a decline bench press, especially, you know, people that put a heavy weights on there. But definitely hit dips. Dips are great for your triceps, your chest, a whole lot of other shit too. But we're trying to hit the bottom portion of our chest, lower portion, which means we got to make sure we're hitting that depth, right? Depth is crucial for any chest movement. Get that stretch. Get more time under tension, more range of motion, all that sort of shit. And then afterwards, we're gonna go into push-ups, which similarly how I talk about hitting more depth and getting more, you know, obviously range of motion. You gotta get your dumbbells. Use some dumbbells, that way you can get deeper than you typically can with just your palms, and it's better on your wrists. So definitely do that, definitely a good idea to do. But when we actually start getting into this, after I finish the recording, we're gonna be doing this consecutively. So I do this, he does that, I do this, he does that, non-stop. 12 reps of each. You got to take a pause in between, take a pause, but we're going to hit the 12 rep range for 8 sets because this is set number 2. I wanted to do 10, but let's be honest, man. Once we hit a certain point, it's going to be junk volume. We're going to be too fatigued to the point where we're incapable of doing it, especially with no rest. You should rest in between sets. Remember that because of that checklist that I told you guys about. But because it's body weight, I don't really feel a need to as much as I would when I actually do weighted sets because, of course, you have that risk of being injured, which you still do have with this, but a lot less, right? But I don't want to chit-chat too long. Let's get this shit. Yeah, this set's gonna be brutal, man. Fuck. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. In my mind, I'm like, should just do 10, which I think we're gonna do 10. I don't want to do too much to the point where I'm capable of doing the reps, because even just doing the 12 there after having a rest in between the first set and the second set, a little difficult. But once this video stops, just know we're doing 8 sets consecutively. He goes, I go, non-stop. If I take a pause in between or take a little bit of a breather, but let's get this shit done. Workout is all done. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that last freaking exercise slash superset slash circuit slash fuckery was crazy, to say the least. We ended up doing 8 reps, I think after 4th, maybe 3rd set, because doing 12 was quite a lot, and then we cut it down to 10, and that was quite a lot as well. But I was also having these mental conflicts. I hit six sets, and my wrist was hella sore, like really sore. Because of course, there's a lot of wrist being used in those movements, push-ups and dips. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call it. I told you that. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna regret not finishing this. Of course, listen to your body, guys. I am a big advocate of that. Do not push past your limits of injury, but you can prepare for it. So what I did was I wrapped my wrist, and it felt good after that. So I did 2 more sets, hit the 8 sets. I was so fatigued. Push-ups were not going very well. I'm like, yo, let's call it. And then Shahir was finishing up, and I'm like, you know what? When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. And that's the conflict that a lot of people have. So I ended up doing 10, but why I'm saying this is a lot of people have that, right? They'll get to a certain level where they're fatigued, they're tired, and like, oh, I'd be more comfortable to just call it here. In a lot of ways, not just in the gym. But that's where you guys need to hold yourself accountable. If you can't hold yourself accountable, what type of person are you? And I was touching upon the core values a little bit ago, guys. One of which is doing what I say I'm going to do, even when no one else is watching me. I don't need someone to hold me accountable to go to the gym. I don't need someone to hold me accountable to do 10 sets. You got to be able to hold yourself accountable. Because subconsciously, when you do say that you're going to do 10 sets of something and you decide to do 8 because you're tired, you're lying to yourself. And that's building up a level of lying to yourself. Because if you're willing to lie to yourself, man, that is the worst thing ever. I talk about yourself, like the way you talk to yourself as well. If you're not willing to talk to others, don't talk to the way, like if you're not willing to talk to others the way you talk to yourself, don't talk to yourself that way. It's similar like this, man. Don't hold yourself, hold yourself accountable, and don't fucking let yourself fall victim to the inner bitch, man. Do not fall victim to the inner bitch. I really need to emphasize that, guys, because I almost did today. And that's where you build that level of accountability. And after a certain amount of time, that secondary voice that tells you that that is your inner bitch telling you to stop becomes more prevalent. Because again, the inner bitch never goes away, but you can mitigate it by putting yourself in positions to push past it. So that's a little 2-cent rant for you guys. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Spend some time with your loved ones. Still get done what you guys need to get done. Gonna be a good weekend this weekend for me because I am gonna go watch some fights, which I think I'm gonna vlog. I'm gonna vlog that. You know, I haven't really gave you guys a nice little vlog in a little bit here, but we will do a vlog because there's gonna be some sick ass fights happening at Dog Pound MMA in Brampton. If you guys are around that area, check out Dog Pound MMA. It's where I trained. Great place. Mindset, physicality, everything. Great place all around. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I heard it gives you guys extra gains. Only one way to find out. Hit the sub button if you're new, guys. We're en route to 1,000 subscribers by the end of April. It was supposed to be April 1st, but you know, it ain't about the goal. It's about the journey towards the goal that matters. And we are doing well. So we are at 881 at the time of this recording. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are truly amazing. I'm very grateful for every single one of you guys. Hit the post notification bell so you guys never miss a video. Drop a comment down below what you guys plan on doing this weekend. Always curious. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Spend some time with your loved ones. Get done what you guys need to get done. Have a blessed day and find your impetus. Goodbye.